The UFC's Bantamweight division is a hot mess right now at the top, and I'm here to solve it and give you the matchmakings that make sense for the top guys at the UFC's Bantamweight division in this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Assalamu alaikum, Dagestan.
The UFC's Bantamweight division is probably as hot as ever right now, which is a positive thing and we should actually appreciate that, but obviously we also have to problem solve it, right? Because there's a lot of cases for a lot of matchups right now, and each one of them has their own credibility, in my opinion, and you can argue for each one of them. But if you will argue for each one of them, that will be a half-an-hour video, and I'm not trying to bore you here. The thing is that
Here's the thing, you guys.
Merab is the champion. He beat Sugar Sean O'Malley, who had won title defense, who was the champion before, who beat Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling is not in the picture anymore. He beat Cheeto for his title defense. Cheeto's also not in the title picture. Who else is in the title picture is Umar Nurmagomedov, who just beat Corey Sandhagen, who was the number 2 ranked contender, if I remember right, when they fought. If Umar deserved that matchup is a whole other topic, but that doesn't matter because he fought him and he beat him fair and square. So Umar is a number 2 ranked contender, Sean O'Malley is a number 1 ranked contender, and a matchup that just happened last weekend was that Petr Yan fought Deiveson Figueiredo, who were kind of number 3 and number 4 ranked contender, at least in my rankings, and they fought each other. And it was a phenomenal fight, a competitive fight as well, but Petr Yan clearly won all 5 rounds and won that fight by a vintage performance, right? And fun to know for you, Petr Yan is also a former champion who defended his belt, even won the interim belt against Corey Sandhagen. Just that you know that about Petr Yan. And Figgy obviously is out of the title picture right now because he lost the fight. So who is there to match up? There is Sean O'Malley, Umar, and Petr Yan that all won the title shot. And they all 3 have a case for it. Because Petr Yan is a former champ, as I said, defended the title multiple times, lost the title in a weird way against Aljamain Sterling. Of course, Aljamain then defended it fair and square against Petr. But yeah, he had a little bit of ups and downs since then. He became the interim champ even, and recently had a little bit of a resurgence. After he lost a couple of fights, he then won against Song Yadong, and now a dominant vintage performance against Deiveson Figueiredo. Sean O'Malley, as I said, just was a champ. He's the one who gave the belt to Merab in a way. He had a weird performance where, in my opinion, he didn't look himself. It looked a little bit weird, his footwork was off and whatever. So obviously he has the case for a rematch, right? Because he lost the belt to Merab. He's a big star, and big stars often get rematches if they lose their title. And Umar has the case that, hey, I just beat a number 2 ranked contender. Before that, he didn't really beat anyone that matters, but he beat a number 2 ranked contender, fair and square. And the main reason for Umar is he's a fresh guy. He's the only one of those 3 that has never faced the champ Merab, right? And that's just the whole thing about it, because I'm not a friend of rematches, but rematches are inevitable in this case. Because Petr Yan fought Sean O'Malley, Petr Yan fought Merab Dvalishvili, and obviously Sean fought Merab Dvalishvili, Sean fought Petr Yan. So it's a whole circle. The only guy who hasn't faced any one of those guys is Umar. So rematches are inevitable. The question is just who deserves the title shot the most.
I got one dude on my mind.
And as you know, I'm a huge Sean O'Malley fan. So I would love for Sean to get the title shot. I would not be complaining 1 second if Sean gets the title shot. But if we're completely fair and honest, Sean should not get the next title shot. Even though he didn't look himself in that fight, you have a guy that comes off a win against a number 2 ranked contender who's unbeaten in the UFC. Yeah, he's unbeaten overall, he has an 0 record. And you are coming off a loss, even though you won a lot of fights before that and you're much more exciting to watch. So for the UFC, if I'm the UFC, just from an entertainment standpoint, Sean O'Malley gets the next title shot because you want Sean as a champion, that's what you want. But Umar definitely deserves it in this way, and Petr also deserves it more than O'Malley at this point, in my opinion, even though I think he's only on a 2-fight winning streak, but still he just beat Deiveson Figueiredo in kind of a number 1 contender fight, because Deiveson was on a 3-fight winning streak against bantamweights, and he just beat Chito Vera, who just fought Sean for the title before that, you know. So you can make a strong case that Deiveson was also there for the title shot and Yan just beat him 50-45 all 5 rounds and looked like the Yan that was champion. And the Yan that was champion was nearly unbeatable, right? So you can make a strong case for Petr Yan as well. The only problem is, as I said, the rematches, that Petr Yan, you have to, if you look at the rematches, you at least have to look which rematch makes the most sense. And of course you could say, yeah, it's a redemption for Petr Yan because he lost so decisively against Merab. But for me, it's just this. The champion right now defeated Petr Yan in an absolute beatdown. Petr did not do anything. Merab destroyed Petr Yan in their fight. And of course it's possible that Petr had a horrible night and he's a different fighter now. But still, do you really want to see the rematch from a guy that got destroyed by Merab? Or would you rather see, what is my suggestion, is that, look, just give Umar the title fight, because if Umar wins that fight, right, if Umar wins against Merab, which is definitely a possibility, then the next title fight will 100% not be a rematch. Because then the next title fight will either be Sean O'Malley or Petr Yan, and I'm getting to that in a second, against Umar, which opens the division up again. Because if Merab now fights Petr Yan again and defeats him again, which is highly possible, who's next then? Sean O'Malley again? Another rematch? So we just have rematch after rematch after rematch. And of course, Umar could also lose to Merab, and then we have the rematch thing again. But at least then, in the meantime, which is the other matchup I would make, is Petr Yan rematches Sean O'Malley, because that was a very close fight that I know a lot of you scored for Petr. I scored it for Sean O'Malley. But anyways, it doesn't matter now anymore. Let them rematch, because it was such a close fight, and whoever wins that fight is undeniable as the #1 contender, right? And of course, Corey Sandhagen against Sean O'Malley would be a very fun fight. It would be a new fight that everyone wants to see. But what do you do with Petr then? You have to match the people up fairly.
Absolutely, 100%.
Because Petr then has no matchup in front of him, and he deserves to fight someone in front of him, right? So if they then fight, whoever wins that fight is clearly the #1 contender. So all you get is one title fight rematch, right? And of course you could say, yeah, anyways, you could go on and on with this, but I think that's what makes the most sense. Umar fights Merab for the belt, and Sean O'Malley fights Petr Yan for #1 contendership, maybe even on the same card. That would be fun, and all problems are solved. And of course, Corey Sandhagen, Cheat, all those guys, you have to find new matchups for them, but you will find new matchups for them. The bantamweight division is as alive as ever. And I see why Merab is calling out Yan. I see why he's ducking Umar. You could say he's ducking, it is a possibility. I think partially it's also just because Merab he doesn't really like those people from that side of the planet, right? Especially Russians, but especially those type of Russians, Dagestanis. And he just tries to push his political agenda a little bit, and he doesn't want to fight Umar. He thinks Umar is disrespectful in some way or whatever, even though Umar is one of the nicest guys ever. But he just, yeah, he knows also, of course, that Petr Yan is an easy fight for him if you look at the first fight, right? Based on the first fight, it should be an easy fight for him. So I understand Merab's side in a way. I understand where he's coming from, but he should just face Umar Nurmagomedov for his title defense. He wants March. Let's do March. Works for me. This is what I would do with the matchups in the UFC Bantamweight division. Write in the comments what you would do. I hope I was not too complicated. I was trying to explain that it makes sense for everyone. No one gets any misunderstandings with me. So write in the comments, as I said. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, guys. Would appreciate that. Check out the Bloodsport merch, bloodshop.net, link in bio, my official merch store, best merch in the business, worldwide free shipping with the code FREE. Stay bloody, you guys. Now till the next one. Bye-bye. Bloodsport out.